Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a game on our hands. It's going to be Na'Vi versus Alliance, El Clasico. Finally facing off here in Starladder Season 8. We're in Day 10. This is technically Game 3, though we didn't have a Game 2. Had sort of an extended break there. But we're finally in it. I'm Zyori. With me is Merlini for the first time today. Merlini, my friend, how are you? Or perhaps Merlini's not with me.
Alliance's
check.
turn to ban.
No? Alright, well, Merlini is inbound. He should be poking on here any moment. Do have him on the call at least. Maybe I'm still muted. So we've got Na'Vi Alliance.
10 seconds remaining.
Nature's Prophet Elder Titan going to be first banned by Na'Vi. Lifestealer Crystal
5
Maiden banned out by
remaining.
Alliance. Na'Vi already off to the races here. They're going to first pick
Reserve
a
time.
Luna. Interesting. Merlini, loud and clear. Seems he may be having some tech issues now. Always perfect timing with those updates here. And pardon me here, just think Merlini working through his tech issues here. Visage Alchemist going to be the first two picks for Alliance. Still a lot of scary heroes left in the pool. Both teams being semi-cautious with their bans here, though Alliance taking a bit more of their time. They are going to ban out the OD. Check. Alright, Merlini's going to reset his Skype and he should be joining me. Always an issue here, guys. We just can't catch a break today.
Ban.
He should be with us pretty quickly here. Again, my apologies, folks.
10 seconds remaining.
Pugna will be the fourth ban here coming out from Alliance. And of course, Puck going to be picked up for Na'Vi.
Alliance's turn to pick.
That signature Dondo hero. Not surprised. Puppy going to grab his Enchantress here. And most likely going to be a Havost Luna. Now, Luna's an interesting pick. Generally grabbed when teams feel they're going to have a lot of farming room. And with an Enchantress in the jungle, I imagine Luna will feel semi-safe. Visage Alchemist for Alliance. A very open-ended draft, though. Still a lot of angles they could take.
10 seconds remaining.
Venomancer still in the pool here. And Alliance going to have
5
the option to
seconds
grab
remaining.
the double V supports. Of course, Veno and Visage, the two of them in tandem, are quite powerful. Very damage-intensive supports. A lot of aggression they could put out with a tri-lane if they pair those two with an Alchemist. Certainly could be an option here. Bat Rider going to be banned out by Na'Vi as well. Still troubleshooting with Merlini here. Gonna give him another call. Give him a jingle. See if we can grab him. Now, Alliance thinking hard here. This is kind of a big pick. Third pick. Gonna start to limit the way their draft
10
has to
seconds
unfold.
remaining.
And they are gonna get the Veno. There it is.
Turn to pick.
So that's a nice aggressive tri-lane if that's how they want to run it. Now, you can always put Alchemist in the mid. Though, not so sure he's gonna fare well against that Puck. Still a little bit of options for Alliance, though.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Oh no. Merlini having some Skype issues here.
10 seconds remaining.
Bad news bears for Mr. Merlini. This is a game that I don't want to
5
solo
seconds
cast either.
remaining. Reserve time.
What a big match for Zyori to solo cast. So now Na'Vi going to have fourth pick. We'll see what they want to grab here. Going to need some supports. They're going to grab the Wind Ranger. Wind Runner,
Alliance's
depending on your
turn
preference.
to pick.
Wind Runner going to work pretty well here. Now the thing about Wind Runner, it's all about the shackles. If you're one such player that can connect. Oh, here we go. Hello, sir.
I'm here.
Yes.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Victory
I'll be getting
achieved.
back in the game shortly.
Okay, very good. So
10
draft is
seconds
going pretty
remaining.
quickly here. Well, we're just towards, it's not really going that quickly, we're just towards the end of it.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
no worries, my friend.
Interesting about the
Reserve
draft.
time.
Alright, so there's going to be a Doom here.
Navi's
We've got
turn
Luna,
to ban.
Enchantress, Puck, Wind Ranger for Na'Vi, Visage, Alchemist, Venno, Doom for Alliance. And we're moving into the final bans.
Alliance's turn to ban.
DK going to be the final ban here for Na'Vi. We'll see what Alliance want to ban out. I've already banned out that CM, which would have been a good pick here. Perhaps.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds remaining.
There it is. Clockwork final ban. Probably should have seen that coming.
Navi's turn to pick.
Are you still loading in, Merlini?
Starting up Dota.
Oh, okay. Oh, you had to do a full reset?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
They save Clockwork for last. Usually that goes really quickly in between those two teams.
Yeah. Well, they did ban out an array of other scary heroes. Na'Vi first banned Elder Titan Furion. Alliance
10
first banned
seconds remaining.
Lifestealer CM. It was a first pick Visage, but Na'Vi grabbed Luna Enchantress with their first 2 picks.
Alliance's turn to
And
pick.
there it is. They're going to grab Kuroki's Rubik with their final pick. Going to be an off-lane Wind Ranger. And they've got Puppy's Enchantress, Dendy's Puck, and of course a Vost on that hard farming Luna. We'll see what Alliance want to grab here. TA always an option against that Puck, but I don't know. They may go long lane, aggressive try with the Venno Visage Alchemist. Safe lane Doom. They just need a mid-hero
10
here.
seconds remaining.
DK banned out, OD
5
banned out.
seconds remaining.
Whoa, gonna be a Night Stalker final pick here for Alliance. Pretty scary roster, really on both sides, but that Alliance roster I think is a little bit more intimidating. They've got a pretty solid mid game, and then Alchemist I think can be able to handle their late game. Na'Vi putting a lot on the back of Luna in terms of that late game carry potential.
And right as soon as they start taking their heroes.
I cut the tail end of it.
Wow, Alliance has a very un-Alliance lineup.
Yeah,
Whereas Na'Vi has a pretty typical lineup.
Na'Vi lineup. Yeah, that Night Stalker final pick. Talk about...
I've seen S4 play it before.
Remaining.
Yeah, definitely on occasion. How about Night Stalker versus Puck, though? Is that a one-sided matchup or
5
kind of a wash?
seconds remaining.
Night Stalker has a pretty big upper hand on Puck. At least that's what the consensus is amongst most of the pro players. He has the silence kind of screws Puck over. Firstly, when he tries to gank, and then on top of that, Night Stalker has more base damage than Puck early, 59 right now compared to Puck's 52. So last hitting is pretty easy for him, and on top of that, he can void for last hits, whereas Elusive Orb is prohibitively expensive in that regard. But it's just all about CSing early and all about early movement around the map. If you can position yourself so you don't get silenced, it can actually get the jump on Night Stalker instead of the other way around. But usually with the night change, it being a little bit early, and Night Stalker having further vision in nighttime, it makes his life very, very difficult for Puck. But in the laning phase, it's not incredibly hard for the Puck.
How do you like the Ag Scepter on Night Stalker? I know that's one of those kind of debated type pickups. Are you a fan?
It depends on if you like really need the vision. Like if they have Earthshaker on another team or something like that, or like a Sand King, and you need to see if they're going to blink because they usually hide in the fog. They're usually forced to get a smoke if they want to get a clean initiate. Or if you want to just take complete control of the map with Ags and Gem, then it's perfectly okay. But you really do need damage on your team too, and Ags doesn't give you any damage. So if you have a secondary source of damage like Alchemist, Visage, I mean even Venomancer and Doom provide good damage too. I think you can get away with it. But if you're primary carry, which is very rare, and I don't really like that, then Ags is clearly not that good of a choice.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I was going to say, hopefully we're not slated with lag issues here, given the up and downs of the Dota 2 network, but already S4 disconnected. So Gonna be stuck in a pause. It's been a rough day, Merlini. We had a surprise early game and then a canceled second game, and now the delayed El Clasico into a pause disconnect. Cheese and crackers.
Yeah, not the best day for LAN, but everybody is excited to see Alliance versus Na'Vi. And going into this matchup, Na'Vi, I would say, is just like slightly favorited. Usually it's just a 50-50 matchup. And out of the last couple times that they matched up, Na'Vi has beat out Alliance. I think the last one was at MLG, and then after that was DreamHack. And Na'Vi 1-0'd Alliance and 3-0'd Alliance after that. I don't believe they actually met at EMS, but both of them had pretty similar results. Both Na'Vi and Alliance lost to Fnatic as well as Vici. So this should be pretty close to a coin flip of a match as usual.
And in a best of one, anything can happen. Of course, not a best of three series. It is Starladder round robin here on
Fnatic
Day 10.
might get caught out. He's like he used 2 win runs already just so he can get there fast enough to lay his wards, but Aki will actually see where he is.
Oh, ward gonna come down. Yeah, Ake gonna come around the backside. Gonna be able to wind run out.
I'm surprised that he's actually that slow, because he used one run 3 times already, and Aki was able to meet him like pretty much over here. So I think he might have taken a little bit longer than normal, because if you leave immediately, he should be there well before they get Envision.
Yeah, maybe the pause messed up the timing a little bit. Just admiring these sets here of Na'Vi, man. I like that Rubik set. The Luna one's pretty nice too. All sorts of fancy items.
Oh yeah, Luna has a new set now.
Yeah, look at that thing. It's looking sharp, Havost in style here. I like it. Looks like he's riding a griffin.
The battle begins.
Pretty classy. All right, so let's introduce our rosters here, guys. Welcome to El Clasico. We've got Alliance versus Na'Vi for Game 3 of the day here at Day 10 of Starladder Season 8. On the Radiant side, we've got Team Alliance. In the bottom, going to be Loda on the Night Stalker. Not going to be that Solomon Night Stalker that we were projecting. Ake going to be on the Venomancer. Looks like he'll be headed down to that bottom lane. EGN going to be supporting on the Visage. Also headed down to that bottom lane. Going to be S4 solo mid on the Alchemist here. And of course on the top lane, that does leave Admiral Bulldog in the long lane on the Doom. Now on our Dire side, we've got Team Na'Vi. Funnick going to be in the bottom lane on the solo Wind Ranger. A little long lane Windrunner action. Dendi going to be solo mid up against the Alchemist here on none other than the Puck. Puppy going to have one of his signatures, the Enchantress here as he moves into the Dire jungle. Kuroki going to be on one of his signature heroes as well. Rubik going to be his choice here. And of course, Havost going to be hard farming on the Luna up here in the safe lane with support from the Rubik as well as the Enchantress.
Yeah, Puppy's been already very active this early game. He actually failed this stack, a little bit unfortunate considering he had the Wildkin spawn. But he started off bottom, blocked the camp, already moved over here, enchanted, tried to stack. But yeah, not going that well for him. S4 in middle. Looks like he is on par in CS with Dondo. Now Dendi has changed his name too.
Yeah, apparently it's now Dondo. Dondo the Puck. So, bottom lane, Wind Ranger almost in a little bit of trouble here. I'm going to get harassed back. Thought they may find an opportunity on Funnick.
Yeah, she has early boots and pool 2 Tango, so she should be okay. We see Puppy. There might smoke up right now.
Yep. Thinking about it at least. Doom going to poke his way over. He's going to catch vision. And, I don't know, Admiral Bulldog stepping a little bit far forward here. There's the telekinesis stun coming out. That's going to be a first blood on the Bulldog. Kuroki going to be the one to grab the last hit. Wow, that didn't go quite the way I thought it would.
Yeah, he was just poking his head out a little bit too far.
Yeah. So, I guess, had the right suspicions, but unfortunately not going to be able to survive. So that is going to be a slow start for Admiral Bulldog in the long lane Doom. I really would have thought they would go for a kind of a long lane tri-lane and put Doom in the safe lane so he can farm well against the Wind Ranger. But Doom probably going to have to just rotate into the jungle pretty quickly here. And yeah, he's going to do just that. At least he's going to devour one of the big creeps.
Yeah, it's just he's already level 3 though, and 2.5 minutes in. That's already pretty good. So things aren't going too terribly for him. Havos is level 4 though. He did not get that first blood. Kuroki actually got it. He has 850 gold in his inventory. Will also be picking up boots. Puppy only with 1 creep right now. We may see him make a move with another creep. I don't really think they can kill Alchemist with Troll Summoner and a Hellbear Smasher. Probably not. He might need one more.
Yep. Dendy poking his head forward. EGM going to be nearby, going to throw the orb back. He'll be just fine. Was thinking a concoction may come right there.
Smoked right there. He's ready to kill. Oh, the troll he got fogged. That's so unfortunate for him. Still going for him though.
Yep, here we go. Oh wow, he's gonna fall to the tower. A little late caught the tail end, but yeah, Dendy gonna pursue here. Is he gonna be able to finish off S4? Uh oh, Dendy might get turned around on here. A lot of low heroes. He's gonna get a nice phase shift off. He's gonna try and finish off EGM. Not gonna happen. And Visage gonna be able to finish off the puck, but pardon me, Puppy gonna be able to finish off the Visage. Compliments of the Hellbear Smasher. So yeah, pretty good back and forth exchange. But S4 does survive, so I guess he comes out the victor here.
Yeah, that was just really close by Na'Vi right there. I don't exactly know why he tried to pursue from downhill, but the troll summoner, he was raised his hands. He was trying to catch him with the ensnare over here, and instead they have to dive almost to the T2 tower in order to get the kill. And that was a very timely bottle crow from Alchemist. If he didn't have that crow there, he would have died. Looks like he will secure. Will Funny get this rune on bottom?
Oh, a close one. That projectile was in mid-air there. But alas, Alchemist does fill up the bottle, so he's going to get a little more sustained to head back to the lane. EGM going to hold it for him. Night Stalker, the one who's really starting to shine, though. In this solo safe lane, Loda is just picking up the farm. He's got his phase boots already. 30 and 11, actually a little bit ahead of Havost in the top lane. So this Night Stalker going to have a good bit of momentum. A very momentum-based hero, so this is definitely good news for Alliance. Though, sort of
Kuroki sitting on top. Admiral Bulldog's like poking his head out. They have a ward there finally, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Loda on the Night Stalker, is this sort of a hard carry style Night Stalker here? It's a little bit different from the solo mid sort of, a little more momentum-based.
Well, the solo mid Night Stalker, it's not as effective as it was before because you kind of missed out on your prime time. Before it was like you hit level 6 and it's nighttime, sometimes level 7, and then you can get a lot of kills. Right now it's like you hit like level 4-ish around first nighttime, almost level 5, and that's just not the best time to gank for him. Puppy and Kuroki smoked up. But they have a lot of other damage dealing sources, so it's not important that he isn't killing right now. Yep. He can if he wants to, but it's not imperative.
Yeah. So the smoke, not going to do much mid. They are going to rotate up towards the top lane, but not going to find the Doom. Admiral Bulldog actually on his way, and he might get pinched here. There's a Satyr Tormentor going to scout it out. Kuroki going to be in the front lines, going toe-to-toe with the Bulldog. Uh-oh. Admiral Bulldog in big trouble here. There's the Telekinesis, trying to put him on the high ground. Not going to work for him. And Bulldog might be able to survive. No, there's the Dream Coil. He's just going to try and pour it out. Damage going to be there. Puck not going to hop to it. Not going to be enough. Now Alchemist going to turn. Kuroki in a little bit of trouble. Wisps fly. Not going to be enough to keep Kuroki up. Down he goes. Alchemist going to grab that kill. Now Loda going to join the party. There's the slow on to Puppy. And yeah, Puppy going to be in big trouble. Down he goes. Alliance going to take a nice
TP
swing.
out by Admiral Bulldog too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Would have been a different story though if he landed on that high ground.
Yeah, it certainly would have.
From that telekinesis. It was a close call. It looked like he was sort of on top of it, and then he got cliff walked down. So kind of unfortunate, but a noble effort there from Kuroki.
Yeah, now it's kind of on Havost to get them through this mid game, unless then he manages to pick up an early blink, but he's not farming all that well in middle right now. 30 and 11. S4 is suffering a little bit too, 24 and 7, but I think it's more important in this situation for Puck to get farm than Alchemist because Puck is really their playmaker in mid game, whereas Alliance, they have an Alchemist, they have Doombringer, even Visage can start off fights. Pretty much anyone on their team can make things happen. And yeah, Funnick is underleveled compared to Aki now, so he's not going to be able to do much on bottom. And with the threat of Loda constantly running around the map, they have to be really scared.
Did you catch the beginning of that death on Funnick right there?
I did not.
That was a huge misplay. He tried to kill Ake, decided to dive the tower. Ake moved back into the tower, sort of juked up, and then put a ward down right here, so he couldn't get to him. And then the tower just finished him off. Really a big overcommit. Nicely played by Ake, though, to block off the little path. Very crafty Plague Ward placement.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get Quelling Blade, because he was neutraling quite some time. Not that you need to knock down the trees, but it still speeds up your farm.
Yep. So it looks like Avos not going to be grabbing a Midas here, even though he's been pretty quietly farming. Seems like he's on point about this mid-game action he's going to have to carry. Does have the Helm of Iron Will, Phase Boots to start things off, but alas, no Midas. No Midas on our Radiant side either quite yet. Loda going to grab a Vitality Booster to start things off. And it looks like we could see an engage up here. Loda gonna port up. He's gonna go for Havost. Gonna start off with a nice bit of damage. There's the silence. Telekinesis to slow him down. Oh, wow. A big concoction gonna go in. Acid spray comes out. There comes the Eclipse doing a lot of damage. The return on Loda maybe too much. In comes the Dream Coil as well. Night Stalker's going to be the first to fall. Loda the second. The two big targets have gone down. That may be where this fight ends. A lot of low health heroes. No, Visage going to fall as well. That's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Na'Vi. And the rest of Alliance going to start to head for the hills here. Pretty intense back and forth, but a nice concoction to start it off. One of the birds falls. And Funnick taking a lot of damage here.
They've been getting hit by a couple multiple man concoctions, and that is typically pretty rare. They had two-man concoction over here and 3-man right here.
Yep. Oh, S4 charging it up. He wants it. He may get a 2-man here as well. Telekinesis is going to be close. He does get the concoction off. Down goes Kuroki. Funnick going to be in trouble as well. Not enough for a wind run. Acid spray. Down he goes. Look at S4 with the man-ups. Smart choice to dive to tower. Just going to use the ultimate here. The Chemical Rage going to give him some regen. There's another concoction. Doom on Puppy. Alliance picking up some huge momentum here. That's going to be a 3-for-0 swing following that engage up top. And Puck on his way. Not Puck. Havost.
Really sure why he threw the S4 into him. That was, I think that was a big mistake, because even if he exposed on himself, Kuroki will still get stunned.
Right, still does the AoE. So yeah, a bit of a misplay, but now Bulldog may pay the price. They're going to have enough to finish him off. Down he goes. Wind Ranger going to grab that last hit, but Alliance still 9-4. Let's take a look at that gold graph. And they have a nice 1,000 gold lead already. The experience graph is what's really scary. About a 3,000 experience lead as Loda just goes back to free farming in the bottom lane.
Yeah, at least they got the kill on Loda at the start. If they hadn't killed him with the Eclipse there, that would have been just disastrous for Na'Vi. But luckily managed to pick him up. They managed to escape with somewhat minimal losses. Yeah, the experience lead is getting pretty massive now. Rubik is not even level 6 yet, whereas Visage has been level 6 for a while.
Yep. And of course that is a big difference with Visage. Level 6 becomes practically a different hero. But Alliance off to a good start. So this Night Stalker, curious what build is going to transition into with the opening Vitality booster.
I'm not sure either. I think an early Urn would be really good for Alliance, because I think they can keep up the pressure on Na'Vi very, very heavily in like maybe the second nighttime. I think they can just completely dominate them, because Puck is still really far away from Blink Dagger. He still needs 2,000 gold for that. Puppy has been very active around the map and not really been farming, so he's doesn't have that much. Rubik just has Arcane Boots. Wind Ranger nowhere close to whatever item she's going to go. Not Mech first, because Puppy has it, but if he's going for a 4-step, it's still going to be a while. But I mean, they just need to like doom a target, have Night Stalker slow a target, and then it should be easy to chase him down from there. Yeah. But that's only if they're as 5 and only if they have superior vision and position, which Night Stalker should be able to provide for them. Even against Luna, you can just use your ultimate and you'll be able to get the jump on them especially before she gets her BKB. And if you just let Na'Vi farm and get their BKBs and Blink, it's going to be very difficult for Alliance to win those team fights so handily.
Yeah, absolutely. Now look at this crafty play from Na'Vi. They did smoke up, and Dendi with the really crafty play to throw an orb when he was at the high ground. Didn't reveal the smoke, but sort of implying that Puck is still there. They move straight into the Roche pit with all the Enchantress creeps, making this a little bit easier, but Alliance, they're wise to it. This trick may have worked on a less experienced team, but Alliance know exactly what's going on. There's the Plague Ward inside the pit. Get a little bit of vision of Roshan, and they are going to choose to engage here. S4 going to charge up the concoction, going to throw it on Dendi. It's going to get phase shift. Out comes the Dream Coil, and Alchemist is the first to fall. EGM in some trouble as well, though. Havost is going to get doomed, and he's going to go down. Wind Ranger will secure the deny. Very nicely done. Still a 2-for-1 exchange. And now Loda going to move into the Roche pit, making sure Roshan not within a few hits from death. That will be a buyback from the Luna as well, so Alliance sort of getting what they came for. Their Alchemist going to buy back also. Visage going to be dead for another 10 seconds. Bird's still in the field. One of them falls. And the other, nope, not going to go down quite yet, but still Alliance really with an advantage here between the Plague Wards and the Familiars. They have so much more mobile vision and allows them to sort of check out what's going on in the Roche pit without having to face check it.
Kuroki has Unstable Concoction, which is a really big spell steal.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now Alliance going to move into the pit. Na'Vi going to try and converge. It is S4 and Loda in the front lines. Admiral Bulldog going to join him now. Roche getting dangerously low. No Aegis Snacks going to come out. It is going to be Night Stalker who grabs it. Nicely done by Alliance. They thwart the efforts of Na'Vi and then take it for themselves. Puppy now going to be the target of choice. The stolen and stable concoction comes out on Ake. Gonna buy him a little bit of time, but won't be enough to keep Puppey alive. Now they're gonna continue to pursue Havost in big trouble. Down he goes. It's a 2-0 following that Roshan fight. How deep are they gonna go? And deep enough to finish off Funnick as well. That's gonna make it a 3-0. A couple of red health heroes here. Remember, Loda does have the Aegis. Kuroki now in big trouble. They're diving past the tier 2s. Not gonna move into the tier 3s though. Will be enough to finish off the Alchemist. Now Dendi gonna come out. Gonna burn the Dream Coil. Fade Bolt as well. Bulldog and EGM just playing Ring Around the Rosie. And they will survive. Not enough follow-up for that Dream Coil to do too much. Wow, Alliance just getting hyper-aggressive there and able to capitalize on it. Loda going to walk away at low health with the Aegis. And our question has been answered, Merlini. He is going to grab an early Vanguard here. Oh, Bulldog might not get off scot-free. Going to get silenced by the puck. He's one tanky mother, though. He's headed for the hills. He may be able to live. And it looks like the Bulldog is going to survive to tell the tale. Well done.
Alliance has just been playing so well this game. Scouting out that Roshan was the most important thing that they've done this game, just because Navi's, like, they were really close to that point before where they lose like 1 or 2 more team fights and Alliance is just going to snowball to victory, especially since Navi doesn't have them out late game. So they knew that was coming out. They didn't even like scout in with the familiars. They just like smoked in knowing that they were in there. They didn't even have to double check because they just knew. And that was really important for them to get there when they did, when Roche is in like that 15-20% range where it's not low enough to kill, but it's low enough that you have to stick around and fight. And they even forced a buyback out on Luna, and Luna didn't even get the Aegis. So now all her early farm has gone to waste. She is the last hit leader, but she's definitely not the net worth leader after that. And she's a 600 gold behind Loda now, and it's only going to keep getting worse. And we see Doom and Alchemist very close behind Luna right now. It's very important for Denny to get a pucks, or Denny to get a blink on his puck, 1,000 gold, but Alliance is close to that point where they're just gonna snowball unless they make drastic mistakes, which Alliance doesn't usually make.
Yeah, but you never know. Here in the mid, Loda gonna die between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Gonna go on Kuroki. Kuroki gonna try to port out, but not gonna be able to make it in time. That's now gonna be 15-8 here as we approach the 15-minute mark. Port coming in the mid lane will get canceled, as Alliance will be able to finish off this tier 1 in the mid. All the while, though, Havost going to make the best of it. He does take out the top tier 1 tower to at least make it a 1-for-1. Nicely played by the Luna. So, well, Navi's still in it here, but you're right, Alliance really picking up a lot of momentum here. And they certainly have plenty of carry power as well. That Alchemist starting to get, well, not too scary, but he's got a Vanguard as well. The Vanguard Gaming coming out of Alliance here. Interesting.
I mean, it's not bad. All they need to do is just get ahead in the mid game and just continue their lead. So they just need any sort of like small mid game item, not Midas here, because they just have so many ways to accrue gold with Grudel's Greed, with Devour. So if they want to play the passive farming game against Navi, they will win out, especially with the better comp. So they're not really under that much pressure. They just need to be able to just do okay in the mid game, like trade like 3-for-2, 4-for-3, that sort of thing. And with the Aegis still up on Loda, they should easily be able to do that.
Okay, gonna bump into some strangers in the jungle here. He's gonna scout out a Puppey, and now Loda gonna venture his way over. He wants to engage, and Stable Concoction gonna come onto the Rubik. Not gonna stun the Enchantress, but Puppey now in no man. Poison Sting gonna come out, compliments of that little Plague Ward there. And yeah, I think Enchantress slated to fall. Puppey just going to try and drag them as far out of position as he can. Going to use the mech, going to stay alive as long as he can, and he's tanking it for a good while here. He does open up an opportunity for Luna to finish off the Doom. I did miss it, but there's another bit of action happening down here. Funnick going to force F up to the high ground. And well played by Puppey. He did survive for a good while and did pull him way out of position and opened up to make it at least kind of a 2-for-1, but now Havost's going to pay for it. Down he goes. Loda just a little bit too powerful on that Night Stalker right now. That early Vanguard.
EGM has just been everywhere though. He's 7-3-5 right now, and that's one involved in 1 less kill than S4. And Loda surprisingly has only been involved in 10, but EGM I think has been playing extremely well this game.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty incredible. That Visage really has been all over the place. I didn't realize he picked up so many of those last hits. That's what Visage tends to do.
Dende has picked up his Blink Dagger, but I think it's too little too late, though. Luna's still not going for BKB. She's just going to get whatever spelled, Voided, Unstable Concoction, Venom Slid, Grave Shield, and she's just going to die for the most part. And if they can't get farm on Luna, they will certainly lose out the late game. They're trying to get kills here and there, and you can tell that Navi is really, really desperate for kills, for experience, for gold.
They're definitely hurting. And that's one of the reasons Luna is a little bit of a gamble pick, especially grabbing her so early in the draft. She really needs some room to kind of take off. And we see some aggression going to come her way. The concoction going to fly. Not going to be a long one, though. Force staff going to come. She's going to hop back. Loda going to get caught in a shackle. Not going to latch. But no reason to be hyper-aggressive here. Just going to wait for the creeps. Puck will clear it up a bit with the orb. But this bottom tier 1 tower is going to be slated to fall, I think. There we go. Going to further that tower lead a little bit. Now going to be 3-2 in total tower count. Of course, in favor of Alliance. Going to add to their gold lead now. Upwards of about 5,000 experience lead to boot. Somewhere about 6,000, 7,000 as well. Na'Vi just trying to poke away here. A couple of impetuses. Going to come out on the Bulldog. And he will be able to survive, but harassment coming his way. Some more poke. Oh, Kuroki just going to get melted here. S4 trying to come forward. Kuroki is going to get force stabbed. He will survive. The Bulldog does fall as Puck hops in and drops the Dream Coil. But Alliance aren't done yet. They're going to hang around. Still feeling semi-confident. Nope, they're going to turn.
Dire's bottom tower
They shall about face and head for the hills. EGM, though, he might not get out scot-free. Nice stun with the Familiars onto the Puck. Is going to buy him a little bit of time as Puck hops to the orb. Power shot going to be off the mark as well.
Dire's
Lucent
bottom
Beam.
tower is
Na'Vi,
under attack.
how far are they going to commit to this? And pretty far. The bouncy glaives coming in. Puck going to hop forward. That's the end of the Visage. Uh-oh, now Loda going to find himself in an odd position. He's going to get dropped as well. Veno going to turn. He's going to throw his combo, the Gale and the Poison Nova. Now Ake going to fall. Oh, man. Now Alliance just moving in one at a time. All this momentum starting to shed a little bit. The Poison going to take everyone down. There's a concoction onto Havost. Oh, the mech going to give him a little bit of health. Not going to be enough, though. He will get denied. Nicely played by Funnick. That's his second deny this game. But now S4 going to be in kind of an awkward position. Shackle going to latch. I don't think they're going to have the damage to finish him. And nope, now Na'Vi going to be the ones to about face. Another concoction going to be charged up here. They may just turn on Puppy. Not the target they wanted, but they'll settle for it, I think. Doom going to come out on the Puck now. And Dendi possibly in a little bit of trouble. No phase boots on the Bulldog. But alas, still going to use that Centaur stun to buy a little bit of time to try and finish Puppy. But that Enchantress, man. Talk about a tanky presence. She's going to walk through it.
Yeah, all in all, that fight, not too great for Alliance because the Admiral Bulldog just took so much damage so early. And if he just gets a Doom, they can just kind of face rush them, especially since they still had the Aegis on Loda at that point. But with him getting down to like 130 HP before like the fight even really started, that was just a little bit too much for them. I also don't think they were prepared for the Puck blink. And Admiral Bulldog just starting off the fight without getting his Doom off. Made Alliance just run for the hills. They don't have a T1 tower there either, so even if someone dies, there's no way they're going to be able to come back and help. So Na'Vi's still hanging in there. With Ancient Stacks, they can definitely get Havost farmed up and necessary. He needs his BKB, still working on that, about a little over 2,000 gold away from that.
Yeah, still a little ways off. But as you mentioned, these Ancient Stacks going to help out quite a bit. Acid Spray is down here. Interesting. Oh, it's probably stolen on the Rubik. I was going to say, interesting. Yeah, stolen by the Rubik. That's going to help him clear out those Ancient Stacks that much easier. And now Luna going to be number 1 on the net worth chart. Roshan going to respawn. Na'Vi going to get a little bit lucky here. They're going to poke.
Look at EGM. He's like right.
Yeah.
Like the minute it respawns, he's there, or even like within 15 seconds.
Yep. And there's the Radiant Vision. They know exactly what's happening. They know Roche isn't too terribly low.
Yeah, Na'Vi can't catch a break at all.
Yeah, seriously. Alliance, they're going to poke their head over. Definitely going to contest this. S4, though, going to take kind of an interesting path. We'll take some harassment from Dendi. Going to just use that Chemical Rage.
Na'Vi really likes damage right now. Aside from Eclipse, they just have almost no damage. Like, Waning Rift combo is nice from Puck, but as you saw when S4 got shackled down here, with Chemical Rage on, they didn't even drop him below like 85% with 3 heroes beating on him.
Puck going to throw the orb, perhaps considering an Aegis steal if he can time it right. Reasonably hard to do with Puck. And no, Alliance just going to move out of the Roche pit. They're looking for some kills here. They want to make it happen. Dendi going to be the target of choice. Loda going to find him. He's going to hop to the orb. Mech going to come out from the Enchantress, but there's a BKB on Loda. He's just going to chase him down. There's the Eclipse from a Havost. Not going to be enough, though. He's going to pay with his life just to do a little bit of damage. Now this fight really going to go poorly for Na'Vi. Doom going to come out on the Rubik. He's destined to fall. That's going to be a 2-0. They're going to pursue again. Now Funnick in trouble as Loda dives. Down he goes. 3-0. Puppy going to be the next target. Silence comes out. He's destined to fall. It'll be a 4-0. Dendi, the only one to survive that. Or did he die and buy back? Nope. He made it out. So Alliance not even interested in Roche. They just wanted to prevent it from Na'Vi. They're going to take the tier 2 in the mid, and this is starting to look pretty one-sided here, Merlini. I think Alliance might be able to do this. They've got a pretty sizable lead here, and their momentum just seems unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's still very difficult for Na'Vi to come back. Even with that one decent fight on bottom, the gold graph didn't even really swing up in Na'Vi's favor at all, or swing down in Na'Vi's favor at all. And they have like an early mid sort of lineup, and being behind 20 minutes in is not where they need to be. Going to late game is just going to get worse and worse. Luna's still working on BKB, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much anymore. I think that Funnick has been not very useful this game, but mostly because of the hero itself, not because of how he's been playing. If he gets a shackle off, like, what really are they going to do? Just because you have to worry about the counter initiate, and there's just so many ways for Alliance to counter initiate. If you like run and get galed with like 2 heroes, like the fight's kind of over there. If like Dendi blinks in and he gets doomed, the fight's over there. If you run into an unstable concoction, the fight's over there too. So there's like so many things that Alliance can initiate with, whereas Na'Vi, even if they get initiate off, even if they get a nice like blink, waning rift, elusive or dream coil on like 3 heroes, they can just easily heal through it with Scorched Earth, with Alchemist, with the Mass Vanguards, and with the mech up too. So yeah, they just don't really have that much like follow through in fights. Maybe like a Timber Saw or something to deal with the 3 strength hero would have worked out a lot better. I didn't actually see the picks and bans, but Funnick really is lacking damage. Even a Darkseer would be a lot better than what Wind Ranger provides in this matchup.
Yeah, if I recall properly, the draft order for Na'Vi was something like Luna, Enchantress, Puck, Wind Ranger, Rubik, I think was the order that they drafted. So that Wind Ranger was pretty late into the draft. I think Timbersaw was still available in the pool as well. So definitely a conscious choice, as was Darkseer. But I wanted to ask you, our buddy Ake here, he's got the dreaded Tranquil boots. We were just talking about those the other day, and I believe you were commenting on their lack of potency in this patch. Any thoughts about it here on Ake?
I mean, it's alright on Venomancer because he can just use his wards to attack and not get attacked. I mean, if you want HP regen, you can get like a pipe. I think is still really good here. But yeah, it's just not a good item. I think it needs just to be like slightly buffed, so it's not as powerful as it was with the active, but not as weak as it is now. And EGM has a Scythe of Vice right now, which is ridiculous.
25-minute Scythe of Vice on the quote-unquote support Visage, who is number 4 on the net worth chart. Actually higher than Dendi right now, who is the mid player for Na'Vi, needless to say. So yeah, Visage really having a good game here, as Alliance just continuing to stay aggressive, going to knock down that top tier 2 tower. Going to take the total tower count now 5-2. Of course, in favor of our Radiant side. They're going to use the Glyph as Savos is pressuring this tier 1 in the mid lane. Ake, kind of the lone defender right now. He's going to take a lot of damage. I think he is destined to fall here. He is going to burn the Poison Nova because, hey, why not? Gale has been stolen by the Rubik. Ake going to try and walk away, but Poison may be enough to finish him. Yep, Rubik going to take him out. Loda just trying to chase down Puppy. He's got the BKB on. Mech going to be used. The Nature's Attendants come out, as do the stuns from the Familiars. That'll be the end of Puppy. Rubik did get killed as well. Looks like he got finished off by the tower, but still going to grab it. Dyer's Courier going to fall. I missed it, but it did go down somewhere.
I believe EGM killed it around this area.
Now Loda going to grab himself a Skull Basher here.
Yep, Alliance is going through the motions right now. Na'Vi did get a tower in mid, but still, that's just, I mean, getting a 1T1 tower is nothing for the disaster that happened for them. They lost a T2 on top, as well as 2 heroes. Not the important heroes, but 2 heroes nonetheless. And this T3 is going to go down without contest.
Yep.
And that's without Aki here, too.
Yeah, no Ake, no Glyph available. And Na'Vi going to be hard-pressed to try and defend here. They do have an Eclipse available. Luna's farm is still pretty damn impressive. Number 2 on the net worth chart. It's everyone else that's struggling. The supports in particular. Na'Vi supports are just so poor. Rubik at only 2.9k. And these Alliance supports just flowing in the cash right now. Even Venomancer not hurting too bad. He's got himself a Midas. 2.7k in the bank.
Difference is 3,000. Offlane difference is 3,000 too.
Yeah, that Doom. making a pretty solid recovery. This Doom Alchemist duo is something that we've seen a couple times over the past few days, and it seems to work pretty well, but we'll hold that thought as there is initiation. Dendi gonna hop in, and they're just gonna drop him like he's hot as soon as he pops his way into the fight. BKB's gonna get popped, S4 gonna head for the hills. Eclipse does come out, trying to finish off Bulldog. They'll do it. Visage fell in the mix as well, but it is gonna cost Tavost his life. A lot of low health heroes on Alliance. The Aegis is going to get burned. That means Loda going to pop right back up here. Ake going to head for the hills. And Loda just going to obliterate the Rubik as he comes back. Now Havos did buy back. He's back in the mix here, as did the Puck. So it looks like Na'Vi will hold for now. Both racks still intact. And Puck did finish off the Venomancer. They're going to continue outwards here. Concoction brewing. Oh no, Havost. It's going to be a dieback here for the Luna. Oh, the 4-stab into the high ground behind the trees.
He has a TP scroll though.
Nope.
If he just TP'd, I think he would have escaped.
Yeah, they had no vision. No way to hit him. The acid spray perhaps was clipping him, and that's what he was worried about. That's all I can read.
It's still better than sitting there.
Yeah. Well, he will get denied by the neutrals at least, but still going to be a dieback for the Luna. Definitely going to be hurting.
It's really bad for Na'Vi. Yeah, they held, but they still lost a T3 and they lost Havos twice. So his net worth is just going to take a really big hit from there. And the goal graph still not showing any signs of slowing down on the side of Alliance. And yeah, EGM too with that sheepstick. Now Dendi can't blink in. If he blinks in, he gets immediately scythed, no matter how many heroes he silenced. So that's a really big problem for them. And unless they get like a really nice shackle on EGM, it's still not an easy fight to take. So Alliance will almost always get like a rather decent initiation. It might not be the best, but it'll be decent enough that Na'Vi is going to be struggling in most of these team fights. And Alchemist and Loda have BKBs too, so they can just power through all the magic damage that Na'Vi has because their physical damage is extremely lacking right now. Luna has 200, but she is still not that big of a force right now, especially if they focus her down with a medallion. They can easily kill her in her BKB.
Yep. Gonna be 3 BKBs now on the side of Alliance. There was one picked up on the Bulldog. Doom now gonna have his gonna join the BKB club. And Veno getting pretty close to an executive pickup here. He did just spend some of his money. I have a feeling it is an Oggs.
Double damage.
No, actually gonna be an ultimate orb. Going to go a slightly different route, maybe looking for a sheepstick of his own. S4 going to take a little bit of damage as he is in the front lines, but Alliance, they want to stay aggressive. They know they've got the edge, and they want to continue pressing forward. They're not going to give Na'Vi any breathing room here. Glyph is available. Melee racks still standing, but the range racks do fall. Puppy going to be the target of choice for now. Yule's going to come out. It is going to slow down Loda. We'll buy Puppy a little bit of time. Still, Barracks taking heavy damage here. There's the Glyph finally going to be used. Well, the Barracks will definitely fall momentarily after. Yeah, down they go. Shackle going to connect with the Doom. Where's the follow-up, though? Kuroki with the double damage. There's Puck with the Orb. BKB mech going to be used, and I think Bulldog going to be able to survive it. Dendi going to get sheeped right away, as you mentioned. But no kills going to come out. Alliance going to grab what they came for. They got the Barracks, and they'll be happy to just back up after that.
Yep, and not even having a single loss there. Admiral Bulldog doesn't seem that comfortable on Doombringer 2. He doesn't. I don't know. His like positioning is like slightly awkward in these fights, and yeah, he's like very tanky too. He has mech for the armor, he has BKB for the magic damage, but yet he's like still very close to dying in most of these fights, even though Alliance is way ahead. So you can tell that he is just not completely comfortable with the hero. His position cost him the fight over here, and it's not an easy hero to position yourself with, like as opposed to his typical Clockwork. You can just hookshot in. Nature's Prophet, you can TP anywhere in. Lone Druid, you don't even need to be there with your main hero. You just micro your bear for the most part. So you can tell that he's struggling a tiny bit while he's trying to expand his hero pool, and I think that's very important for Alliance to do. They need to expand Admiral Bulldog's hero pool so they can play more strategies other than their split push, and you can see them doing something that is very un-Alliance-esque, or at least in the past couple of months is un-Alliance-esque. And now that I think they had a wake-up call in the past month, I'd say, after just losing and losing and losing and losing, and now they know they need to get their stuff together. They know they need to adapt to 6.79, pick some of the current hotter picks like Doombringer, as well as Night Stalker is like kind of hot, I guess, but more so the Doombringer, and try and expand their repertoire of strategies.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that yesterday a little bit. One of the things about Alliance, they're very predictable in their play style. What's really top-notch about Alliance is their execution. You know what they're going to try to go for. You know who their signature heroes are, but how do you stop them on those signature heroes tends to be the question. And, yeah, I totally agree. I think expanding that repertoire of heroes is certainly something that Alliance would be well advised to do. But third Roshan going to be up. It looks like Na'Vi are stationed around the pit, recognizing that perhaps, hey, Roshan with cheese could help get us back in this game. We've seen Na'Vi come back from worse. Although 14k gold, 12k experience, pretty damn bad. Luna now going to have the Manta. It is going to be in transit now on the Courier to go with that BKB and Helm of the Dominator. So at least making steps in the right direction, still holding on to a pretty impressive bout of farm there, about 12.3 on the net worth chart. Though Loda has taken over 15k on that Night Stalker. Got a Basher. Looks like he's going to be going for a Lincoln's next. Interesting choice to grab that Lincoln's here. Would not have been something I'd have thought Loda would go for as his fourth item.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he wants it either. It'll block Enchant, it'll block Scythe of Ice, which is pretty useful. It'll block Rubik's Spell Steal, Shackle, and Telekinesis Fate Bolt. None of those are like really big besides Scythe of Ice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he can just tank through it. He can just get like an Armlet. That's like half the cost of a Lincoln Sphere. He can get like a Heart, which is similar cost, and just straight up tank through it too. So he doesn't necessarily need the spell dodge unless he wants to put it on someone else. If he wants to put it on someone else and help somebody like S4 or Admiral Bulldog, then I think it's a good choice. But if he's looking out for his own survivability, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen the buddy system with Lincolns become a lot more prevalent here, and there it is, recipe going to be grabbed as they start knocking on the front door of the Na'Vi base here in the bottom lane. No glyph available, so this tier 3 tower going to take a lot of damage. S4 does have an Assault Kuros now, so these structures going to be even more squishy. Tower falls, Barrett's exposed, and here we go. Yule's going to be used on Loader to start things off. Na'Vi want to defend this. What does Rubik have right now? He's got nothing. That is a Alchemist Acid Spray down. And after that tier 3 tower kill, Alliance say, you know what, let's just go for this third Roche. Maybe we can bait him out a little bit and try and take a fight. I don't think Na'Vi can take him in a straight up 5v5 unless they get an amazing initiation or someone from Alliance really missteps. So I think I like this play from Alliance to try and drag him out. Na'Vi recognizing the importance of this Roshan right here. Trying to keep an eye on what Rubik steals. Still hasn't stolen anything quite yet. And here's the engage from the backside. Puppy going to go in the front line. Savos coming in. Has still yet to blow the ulti, but S4 going to catch him. There's the Doom. Havos going to get taken out before he even gets a spell off. That's going to be rough for Na'Vi. Puppy going to take a stun. He's trying to tank it, but he's going to fall as well. That'll be a 2-0. And it's starting to look like bad news bears here for Na'Vi. Only 3 of them left.
This is Aegis Cheese too.
Yeah, Aegis Cheese not going to be able to stop it. Cheese still just sitting in the pit. Yummy, yummy cheese. Somebody grab it. That's going to be EGM. There you go. And no
Normally,
Aegis
Denny would have just picked that up, but you know he's scared. He's scared of that Scythe of Ice.
Yeah. Perhaps they were trying to bait with the cheese a little bit. You never know.
Yeah, that would have been big place.
Big place. So there is a glyph available here. Na'Vi may sort of have a chance to defend this. Luna going to be down for another 19, though. Not going to be up before the racks fall. Not going to have a buyback either. It is off cooldown, just not going to have the gold for it. Down goes the ranged melee, going to fall shortly after, and that's going to be 2 lanes of racks down at this point. It's looking very, very dark for Na'Vi. 20,000 gold, 14k experience. Big difference on those graphs. And, loaded with the Lincolns. There's the Lincolns on the Veno as well, so they're doing some double Lincolns action here. Provost's going to get silenced. This very well could be the last big fight of the match here. Buyback status for the Dire not looking good. No one has it right now, so following a death, certainly not going to be able to buy back. Puppy the target of choice. Nature's Attendant's going to help keep him up. They do not have a glyph available as Loda is in the front lines. Does not have an Aegis. Loda in a little bit of trouble. Going to be forced out. The rest of the team going to support him, though. Luna going to fall. And Puppey going to be able to make it back to the base, perhaps. The Concoction going to fly. Ake going to step forward. Will burn the ultimate. One last impetus going to finish him off. Oh, they will pay with the Venomancer, but they get pressed back all the way to the well. Top tier 3 falls. GG's come out. That's it. Na'Vi going to be forced to tap out here after 37 minutes. Alliance with a pretty convincing win. I don't know, maybe slightly outdrafted here, Merlini.
I think outdrafted and outplayed. They definitely outplayed. Alliance definitely outplayed Na'Vi in the early game, though. They were very well prepared for the Enchantress ganks, and Puppey without that early game impact that he usually has. And they only have one late gamer, Funnick, pretty much a non-factor throughout the whole entire game. And yes, definitely outdraft from Alliance, though. I think that yeah, their draft is looking more 6.79-esque, and they're showing a lot more promise as like the #1 contender in the West.
Absolutely. So that was our third game of the day, guys, out of 7. We got plenty more Starladder coming your way. We are a bit delayed, compliments of the Dota 2 network issues. Coming up next will be Fnatic versus Poseidon. Then after that will be Fnatic versus Alliance. So we'll see how they fare. Stay tuned, guys. Plenty more Dota 2 action for Starladder Season 8 coming your way here on Beyond the Summit.